My name is Albert, and what I did years ago still haunts me every night. Some say I crossed a line, some say I became a monster. But you need to hear the whole story, then you can judge me. Sometimes, the people we protect don't know they need protection. And sometimes, the people who hurt them, don't know who's watching. This is a story about the kind of revenge that leaves a mark not just on the body, but on the soul. And I'm not proud of what I did. But I don't regret it either. Let me take you back. When I was a kid, my life was split between two completely different realities. At school, I was the quiet nerd. The special ed kid. I got bused to a different district, so I kept to myself. No fights, no friends. Just, invisible. But when I came home, that's when the other life started. I ran with a rough crowd. Not gang level, but close enough, drinking, fighting, even drugs. You name it, I was around it. I got into trouble more than I should have. But somehow, I kept those two worlds separate. Mostly. One time in woodshop, a classmate grabbed the Velcro on my sneakers and yanked me backward. Dumb prank. He ended up catching a claw hammer to the face. He went to the hospital. I went to counseling, and a courtroom. That was the moment people realized something about me. Don't push him. Don't provoke him. When he snaps, he's dangerous. And they weren't wrong. As time passed, I tried to walk away from that violent side of myself. I quit drinking. I stopped the drugs. I told myself I was better than that now. But that darkness inside me, it never really left. I just locked it in a deeper cage. Fast forward a few years, I'm attending a community college, staying clean, minding my own business. I'm even in a few classes with my old buddy's little sister. I remember her as a bratty kid, always tagging along. But now, she's grown. Mature. Smart. Kind. I start seeing her like a real little sister. Protective instincts kick in without even thinking about it. So when I hear she started dating a guy from our old high school, I raise an eyebrow. When I find out who the guy is, my blood starts to boil. He was a year younger than me back in high school. A football star. Wide receiver. A school golden boy. But off the field, a predator. I had heard the rumors. We all had. Girls talking in hushed voices about how he'd groped them in the hallways. How nothing was ever done because the school didn't want to lose their football hero. There were whispers of rape allegations that mysteriously disappeared. Rumors that the local college dropped his scholarship because of more than just bad grades. This was no high school drama. This guy was dangerous. I told her. I warned her. Straight up, no sugarcoating. She didn't listen. She thought I was being overprotective. Jealous even. I could see it in her eyes. I didn't push the issue, but I wasn't about to let my guard down either. One week, she suddenly disappears from all our classes. No texts. No emails. No posts. Nothing. I'm worried. So I drop off her class notes at her parents' house. Her mom answers the door, her face pale. That's when I find out what really happened. She went to a school function with that guy. He drugged her drink. He assaulted her under the bleachers. He left her there like trash. She was found hours later by a janitor. To make it worse, he gave her STDs. I swear, I don't even remember walking back to my car. I don't remember breathing. The only thing I remember clearly was the feeling. The cage inside me cracking open. That was it. All the years I tried to stay clean, to stay calm, to stay good, it didn't matter anymore. He hurt her. He broke her. And I knew exactly what I had to do. I knew where he parked for class. I knew what time he usually came back to his car. I skipped class. I waited. I didn't bring a weapon. Just brass knuckles. And a plan. You don't walk away after hurting someone like her. Not when I'm around. Because there's a line. And once you cross it, there's no going back. It was a Thursday. Cold. Quiet. The kind of evening when the world feels just still enough to breathe, and just tense enough to snap. I skipped my classes. Sat in my car. Parked across from where I knew he always left his SUV. He was nothing if not predictable. I didn't listen to music. I didn't scroll my phone. I just waited. I had one thing in my pocket, a pair of brass knuckles. No guns. No blades. I wasn't trying to kill him. I just wanted to leave a permanent reminder on his face. That someone gave a damn about the girl he destroyed. He came strolling out of the building like he owned the damn campus. Arrogant. Laughing. Probably texting some other girl he planned to use. He didn't even notice me standing beside his car until it was too late. The moment he unlocked his door, I stepped out of the shadows. He turned, smug face, stupid grin, and said, "What the?" That's all he got out before my fist cracked across his jaw. 1 punch. 2. Brass meeting bone. His knees buckled. He hit the ground. I didn't stop. I remember the sound more than anything. The crunch. The gurgle. The whimpering. I knew he kept a broomstick in his SUV for snow. I yanked it out. Not for cleaning. This wasn't about sending a message anymore. This was about planting a flag. There was a patch of woods just beyond the parking lot, far enough that no one would hear him scream. I dragged him by the collar, through the underbrush, across the frost-covered ground. He was half-conscious. Whimpering like a kicked dog. Pathetic. I bent him over a rotting picnic table that had probably been there since the 70s. And I stuck that broom where the sun doesn't shine. No hesitation. No mercy. I left him there, bent over, bleeding, sobbing. Like a warning. I walked straight into a 24-hour pharmacy. Picked up hydrogen peroxide, a fresh hoodie, and latex gloves. Paid cash. Didn't look anyone in the eye. Back home, I burned my old clothes. Scrubbed my hands till they bled. But the rage? It didn't wash off. Not even close. I knew this wasn't over. Not yet. I had one more stop to make. I drove to the county prison. My old friend, her older brother, was doing time there. He used to run with me back in the day, and I knew he'd want to hear this face to face. The guards buzzed me in. We sat across from each other in the visitor's booth. He looked tired. Hardened. But still sharp. I told him everything. What the guy had done to his sister. What I had done in return. His jaw clenched, but his eyes didn't blink once. Then he said, "You did right. But this ain't over." Turns out, the guy survived. He was in the hospital. Broken. Bleeding. But alive. Barely. And he was about to be transferred. To the same prison complex. That's when the second part of the plan started to take shape. This wasn't just about pain anymore. It was about punishment. Long, drawn-out, soul-ripping punishment. I made a few calls. Slipped some money to the right people. Got a few names. A few favors. If he thought I'd already ruined him, he hadn't seen hell yet. Pain is temporary. Scars can fade. But what I wanted for him was deeper than both. I didn't just want him to suffer. I wanted him to drown in the kind of darkness he forced on her. And inside those prison walls, that's exactly what happened. The guy barely survived the hospital stay. Broken jaw, shattered ribs, internal bleeding. But no coma. No amnesia. Just pain. And fear. He was listed for transfer to a low-security camp unit at the same correctional facility where her older brother was locked up. They didn't know who he was. But we did. Even if it wasn't the same exact unit, it didn't matter. Influence in prison isn't about walls, it's about reputation, loyalty, and reach. I got names. I got numbers. I slipped some money to the right hands. Not for a hit. That would have been too clean. I wanted something worse. I told them what he did. To her. How young she was. How he laughed about it afterward. That was all they needed to hear. In places like prison, there's a code, unspoken, brutal, and cold. And what he did? It broke that code. Completely. A week after he arrived, I got a text from a burner number. "Your guy's in. Black hole opened. You'll get proof soon." I didn't reply. Just locked my phone and sat there in silence. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not from guilt, but from anticipation. 3 days later, I was walking to class when a man in a denim jacket brushed past me. He looked like a stranger. Nothing remarkable. But he slipped a flash drive into my pocket. And disappeared into the crowd. I waited until I was home. Locked every door. Turned off every light. Then I watched it. The video was grainy. Shaky. Smuggled from inside the prison. The camera peered through a cracked doorframe. Inside, I could see 10 men, all surrounding him. He was naked. Bleeding. Crying. And no one was helping him. They didn't punch him. They didn't kick him. They took turns. What they did was slow. Intentional. Monstrous. One of them, the biggest, had a shiv pressed to his throat the entire time. Another had something worse, HIV. They weren't just violating him. They were marking him. Infecting him. One guy slit him open, not to hurt, but to make the infection take faster. It was deliberate. Calculated. A sentence. Not from the court. From us. A few weeks later, I got the update. He died. Not from the assault. But from sepsis. Turns out, the prison orderly had been paid to look the other way. Even more than that, he was pocketing the antibiotics, selling them on the black market. No meds. No painkillers. Just rot. That's how it ended. A slow, festering death. Alone. In agony. There was no investigation. No court case. No suspects. Because no one cared. Not the guards. Not the warden. And definitely not me. The only person who might have said something, was him. And now. He was gone. Forever. I didn't tell her what happened. She never asked. But I saw her heal, little by little. Therapy. Time. Tears. She started smiling again. Reading again. Living again. And maybe that was enough. I did what I had to do. I protected someone I cared about. I made a monster disappear. And yet, every night, when I close my eyes, I still hear him scream. He died in prison. No big news article. No investigation. No one protesting. No one mourning. Just a small footnote in a prison log. Inmate deceased. Infection related. No foul play suspected. The system didn't care. And neither did I. Not then. But even after justice, life doesn't just go back to normal. You don't sleep the same. You don't laugh the same. You don't trust the mirror the same way anymore. I started having nightmares. Sometimes they were about him. Other times, they were about me. Waking up in cold sweat. Seeing blood on my hands in my dreams, blood that wouldn't wash off. Hearing her cry, even though she was doing better. The darkness I had buried for years. It was back. And this time, I had opened the cage myself. I never told her what I did. Never said a word. She didn't need to know. She needed space to heal, not another monster haunting her shadow. And her brother? He kept his silence too. We never spoke of it again after that day. Sometimes I'd get a letter from him, just a blank piece of paper with a single word written on it. Done. That was our code. That was the end. But was it really? Friends drifted. School faded. Relationships never stuck. How could they? How do you date someone when you carry this inside you? When you've seen what a human being looks like broken beyond repair, and you were the one holding the hammer. I started drinking again. Not heavily. But enough. Enough to feel the edge blur. Enough to stop caring what came next. One day, Years later, I saw her at a bookstore. She was laughing. Genuinely. Her eyes were lighter. Her shoulders relaxed. She looked like herself again, maybe even better than before. She saw me. Walked over. We hugged. And then she said something that shattered me. I don't know how, but I always felt safe. Like something was watching over me after it happened. Did you? She didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. I just smiled. Shook my head. And said, "You're strong. You didn't need anyone." But in that moment, she knew. And she forgave me anyway. Even though she didn't know the whole truth. She knew enough. I don't know if I'm a hero. I don't even know if I'm human anymore. What I did was monstrous. But what he did, it was evil. I just gave evil what it gave the world. Some nights, I still wake up screaming. And maybe that's fair. Maybe those nightmares are my punishment. Maybe that's how you balance the scale. Because when you stare into the black hole, you can't help but carry some of it back with you. I know I'm going to hell for what I did. But if I had to do it again, I'd walk through the flames with a smile. And I'd do it all over again. Was it justice, or was I the villain? Tell me in the comments, I want to hear your truth. Subscribe for more stories that go beyond right and wrong, and deep into the human soul.